Happy Veterans Day. My name is Chris Latimer, and I'm a candidate for Arkansas House, District 90. And I want to tell you guys about my grandfather. My grandfather's name is Nelvin Friday. In 1949, my grandfather and my grandmother, Gladys, were married. World War II had just ended and the Korean War was just getting started, and he and my great uncle were talking one night and decided they were going to join instead of being drafted. My grandfather joined the Air Force, became a mechanic on the F-102A, and so he just went to work every day, came home every night, never did anything fancy as far as deploying overseas or fighting in conflict. And after his military career, he got a job at Pantex. And went on to work there the rest of his life, retired from Pantex many years later. A few years ago, before he died, he and a friend of his in their Sunday school class were just talking about their military careers. And my grandfather shared a story with him that really changed kind of my view of him. I always considered my grandfather a hero personally, but I didn't know how much that was true until I heard this story. The F-104 was a fighter jet that the Air Force was using. The ejection seat went underneath the plane instead of going up. Well, they had some issues with that on the F-104. Had some pilots that were killed because of that and some complications. And so they did a redesign. And my grandfather was part of that redesign. The company Pantex that he worked with was tasked with designing explosive bolts that would blow the canopy away so that pilots would be safe as they ejected out. And he was part of that team that designed those bolts and had a successful kind of testing and implementation of that project. And so he was telling his friend this many years later at our church there in Cabot, Arkansas. And his friend just kind of stopped him, stuck out his hand and said, I've got to thank you. I've got to thank you because you saved my life. Like, I was a pilot of the F-104 and I had to eject. And because of what you did, you saved my life. And so that really struck me and really hit me. My grandfather had gone so many years. This was 50 years or so later after his military career. And this guy was thanking him because he was a hero. And so it really struck me as an important story to tell for our veterans and for all of our military personnel that are serving now and have served, that no matter what you do in the service, you may not do anything that is glamorous, you may not fight on the front lines, you may not do anything that's newsworthy other than going to work every day and doing your duty, doing what your country has called you to do, serving your country because you love it. So today, I thank you. I thank all of our active service members. I thank all of our veterans for what you do for our country. The Bible tells us in John 15 that greater love has no man than that which he would lay down his life for his friend. That's what you guys do. Because before you knew who I was, before you knew my name, you loved me. You have loved my family, you loved my girls, and you have loved this country. So today, I honor you, I stand with you, and I thank you for what you've done.